Christians spend a lot of times talking about how we should live, but are you preparing to die? That is the question we're going to talk about as we talk about thought crimes in the UK and being arrested for silent prayers. Okay, so the Parliament in the UK recently affirmed a bill. This is from the Daily Wire. They affirmed a bill that bans silent prayer all around abortion facilities. So this is an interesting turn of events. There's actually been at least one woman, I believe multiple people who have been arrested for their protests around abortion facilities in the UK, particularly recently for silent prayer. So this isn't happening just in the UK, it's also happening here in the United States, where a man has been arrested for his protesting around abortion facilities. A SWAT team was sent to his house.
It seems a little extreme. Yeah.
There is a lot going on here, guys. And why am I talking about this? Why would I bring this up? Well, my question when I look at things like this is not one of outrage or, like, oh, we have to raise up and stop this.
You need my pitchfork?
Sure, like I want to fight against this kind of stuff. I think this is a very problematic place to step into, especially where the UK is going with this, where you can be arrested for the thoughts in your head when you're at a certain place, because that's not very far from just being arrested for the thoughts in your head.
To the past, or to the future, to an age when thought is free, from the age of Big Brother, from the age of the thought police.
If we get to that point, I mean, we are under heavy persecution, and this is a very quick road for believers possibly to be arrested just for the thoughts in your head, right? I mean, this is like Nazi Germany, right? Like you're a Jew, well, we're going to arrest you. You identify with this party, well, we're going to arrest you. This is not good foundations for a free society. Now that said, let's put all of that aside, and let's say most of history has been that way. We are in a very blessed time where we have the freedom to practice religion, to practice true religion, worship of Jesus Christ, worship of God, and not be persecuted for it in a heavily physical way. This has made us soft, and we focus so much on living a godly life that we sometimes forget that living a godly life requires us to be prepared to sacrifice that life, to put that life down, to lay that life down. In fact, it's the very first step that we are called to do, is to lay our life down so that it's given to Christ, right? We're no longer living for me. It's like Paul says, to live is Christ, to die is gain. And I think one of the things that has been fired up in me recently, in the last few years especially, is, we can't control the circumstances around us. And they could change in a moment. And we want to take every moment and use it for the glory of God. Whether I'm spending time with my kids or whether I'm talking to my neighbor, thinking about how can I redeem this moment? How can I bring Christ into this moment? How can I set the humiliation of rejection? If I'm sharing the gospel with my neighbor or sharing gospel with somebody I met at a grocery store or sitting next to at a mechanic's office or wherever it would be, just looking for those opportunities. How can I live this moment ready to throw it all on the ground for the Lord? My reputation, what people think about me, even to the point of my own life. And I've thought about that. We actually had in our neighborhood last night, somebody was jumping fences and running from the police and all this kind of stuff. And, we're prepared for things that may happen. We have a dog that could, do some damage to somebody. We have things to protect ourselves, and we have a plan. And that gives us great comfort, right? And it's the same with eternity, right? Like our lives could be lost at any time. And whether somebody hates the thoughts that are going on in my head and wants to arrest me and put me into some kind of camp or punishment or whatever that would be, taking me away from my kids. I mean, I am thinking through these things and saying, Lord, I pray this never happens, but I pray that if it does, you would give me the strength and the trust. And I know that the God I believe in, the God who is real, is not just a God of You got to figure it out on your own. He's a God that meets you where you're at, gives you the strength for the moment that you're in. Just as James says, is that we ask for this wisdom and he will give it to us. We have to ask with faith. We have to ask knowing that this is a God who loves us. This is a God who is for us. And no matter the circumstances, no matter how dark it could be, God is still with us. And that he will give us the strength to persevere and finish that race so that we can be a light for him and help bring others with us. So thought crimes are now real and punishable by law, apparently, in the UK. Who knows if that'll be happening in the US? And who cares? Let us be ready for whatever is thrown at us. And let us go out in a blaze of glory, if that's what it would be, preaching the good news of Christ to anybody else who will hear it, no matter the cost to ourselves. Amen? Like, share, subscribe, send this out, and we will see you in the next video.